My mother is doing very, very well. Her heart is under Gaza, as she say, but her body is strong, her mind is strong. She's quite involved in preparation for the return of other hostages, and she's advising from her own experience. So she's busy supporting other families that have hostages, supporting the Ministry of Health and other bodies within Israel as they prepare for the return of hostages, and in particular, very elderly hostages.
And tell me, if you would, about your father, Oded. He's 83 years old, I understand, and I understand he was injured when Hamas kidnapped him.
Yes, my father was at home with my mom in the secure room, which is their bedroom. He was shot through the metal door and hit. We didn't know that until my mother came. We know that he is in Gaza. We know that he's 83 and quite frail. And we know that we don't know if he's alive or dead 49 days into the event.
So I gather you have not received any sign of life then from your father since October 7th, except what you heard from your mother.
No, we know that he's there, but we don't know if he's dead or alive. I cannot explain how come the Red Cross or NGOs, other NGOs, nobody is able to tell me this basic fact. I find it absolutely horrific, but I'm not the only one. Quite a few of us are in this position.
I'm sure. Now, the ceasefire deal came into force this morning. As part of the deal, around 50 hostages held by Hamas are to be released in the coming hours and days. Does that give you hope?
I know many of the people on the list today. I know them personally. I cannot wait for each person that come back. I cannot wait for the women and children. We miss them so much. Our heart is with their mothers and fathers. This is a horrendous situation. Some of these children will be coming back while their fathers will stay behind. The trauma is indescribable. It crosses through so many circles. I cannot wait to see them. Each one of them is a whole life, and we are preparing to receive them, and we are doing our best. It's a very fragile moment. It's in a scale of horrendousness that we experienced since the 7th of October. The frailty of this is very big. We don't want to speak about it till it happens. We're so aware that some of us will have some of our loved one back and others not. The trauma that will continue because people will have to face the knowledge that their sisters or brothers or fathers died. They do not know much about what is happening, what has happened since. So we can't wait to see them, but this is a ray of light in a great darkness.
Now, Hamas is expected, at least initially, to release women and children only. Are you prepared to have to wait longer for your father's return?
Look, we are a community. We grew together, the children grow together. Being part of this community is that you have bonds that are like family. If there is a queue there, then my father and several others members of the kibbutz fighting to be at the end of it. My father truly believed in this young generation, and so for he feels that he's 83, that he had a great life, that he wants those children and their mothers and their fathers and everyone else ahead of him. We are desperate to see him. We miss him so much, but I know the kind of person he is.
Now, we know that you're in contact with some of the other families who are also waiting for news about the possible release of their loved ones. You were mentioning that. The uncertainty and the waiting for all of you must be terrible.
Yeah, I cannot describe it. The life of our loved ones are in the hands of politicians and terrorists in the most immediate way. These are people that have caused such horrificness. They have uprooted us, they have murdered us, they have beheaded us, they raped us, they slaughtered us, they have created a pogrom. We were defenseless against them. So to have your loved one in their hands and in the hands of a very delicate truce and a very delicate exchange of terrorists and civilians is horrific.
Now, in kibbutz near Oz, your parents' home, more than 100 people are thought to have been killed or captured by Hamas on October 7th. After all that happened, do you see a future for your family in Israel?
Israel? Yes, of course. They're very rooted there. This is their home. I think that my father fought for peace all his life. His parents fought for peace. The idea that the two nations would live side by side is something that my parents dedicated their life to. And so I think that a future in Israel would also depend on making peace and finding a way to live side by side. To say from the river to the sea is not applicable. We need to find a way of living side by side. We've made peace with the Germans after the World War II, and over generation built relationship. And it's absolutely clear that that is also possible with the Palestinian. Hamas is a horrific terrorist organization that engaged in the worst crimes against humanity. There's no peace possible with people that train themselves to behave babies. There's no peace possible with people that just went out to inflict the maximum trauma on civilians. And so there's no peace with Hamas. But with the Palestinian people, with people like the person my mom shook hand with, absolutely. We will make peace with them. We will have to find a way to live side by side.